It's like a meme with big bold letters that says, "We gotta defeat Landianism."
Dr. Don. This is Elon Musk, high on ketamine, eating a steak, deliberating whether or not he should become
what Landiism is, what Nick
a
Land
dictator.
is, what Urbit is. It was like this one person in a group chat somewhere. I tried to like shill a social media thing where you get paid to post things about the thing that it is. I'm like, bro, this guy wants to create Urbit V2. Nice. Totally not gonna fail. Like, I know some of the people who worked on Urbit. These guys were like saying, there's a fundamental problem that was wrong with trying to fix Urbit. I was like, alright, what's that? That it was Urbit. I'm like, okay. Right, I'm gonna go full democracy here.
I think Landianism is an interesting conversation. I have some disagreement, but it's interesting to talk about, and I do agree with a fair amount of what they have to say.
True. What is like his partner, the other guy who was like part of the founding?
Don, I think there's another kind of.
What's the other guy's name? It was Nick Land, and the other guy was I keep forgetting his name. Fuck. He's a very special one. You guys know what I'm talking about?
He's live right now. He's live right now on X.
Yeah.
There's Nick Land and the other guy. Fuck, it's something with I keep forgetting that. It's always I forget the other guy's names, which is funny.
Yeah, it's Curtis Yarvin.
Curtis Yarvin. Yarvin is actually the weirder of the two. Land is pretty chill.
I'm about to step out, Doctor. I'm gonna let Elon run. Let him cook. Let him cook. Elon, cook, baby, cook.
He's basically trolling everybody.
Cook it, Elon.
He's trying so hard to be the Mark Wilcox fucking Buddha, but he can't. Benny, do you remember the Mark Wilcox Buddha? Betty.
Don't you just love listening to Elon eat steak? He's such a fucking guy. It's disgusting.
Bring it back up.
It's so fucking gross. It's so fucking gross. He's so fucking clueless and disgusting that he thinks people want to listen to him eat fucking steak. It's so disgusting.
It's fucking funny as shit, huh?
But this is what it's like when you're worth $800 billion fucking dollars. You can shit on everybody all the time. No, you don't give a fuck about what people think about you. Don't fucking matter if you eat a steak.
Honest question: what do you do when the first thing somebody says to you when you ask them about what they think about modern technology? Like, what do you do when that first thing he says as a response is, "I think that space is fake and gay"? Like, what do you do? I was confronted by that. I was like, okay, interesting, elaborate. Except for my version, I got both of those. I met him at the point where he said that to everybody, and then I met him at the point where he said quantum mechanics is fake and gay. I'm like, interesting, okay, elaborate. And he started talking about it. I'm like, oh wow, it really is fake and gay. Gotcha. So it's a cognitive security filter, because you gotta want something from the guy, right? It's like when I troll super heavily and somebody's trying to convince me of something, and I'm trying to tell you it's not going to work. So I'm just going to troll you a little bit, and then either you give up or pursue it more, and then I give you the answer. And it's like the journey of you getting that answer out of me is what makes you worthy of it. Like, if you can pass all of this stuff, kind of make sense of it, and be able to accept it, when you get to the final end there, you made it. It's worth it. It's like the thing, when somebody's experienced a lot of failure in their lives, I say, I've experienced business failure, and I have the scar tissue to prove it. that saying right there, that exact expression is just the same thing, right? It's because it's a journey that transforms you. It's like the hero's journey, but that's what you have to go through with information. It's what some people do with religion as well. It's like some religions take the conversion or indoctrination into the thing as a thing that's extremely difficult to pull off, to the point where they just basically try to break you and put you back together again. And if you can survive that process and either just like be functionally insane or actually clever about it, then like, okay, cool, you're out to the end state somehow. You made it, you know? Now you just gotta like reconcile and say, was it worth it? You know? We're actually, in this day and age, we're actually living in this day and age is one of reconciliation. That's my thing. I think it's an age of reconciliation and of regression of reach, I think, in a sense. But it's mostly reconciliation. You're going to find this with practically every government on the planet is going to go through a phase of reconciliation. The literal, hey, what did we do? How did it get us here? And what do we do next thing? I think we're going to see the rise of empires. It's going to be fascinating. Because that's the circle, right? That's the cyclical thing. You got the empire, you got the fall, you got the reconciliation, and the empire that rises out of it. Hence why we call it the empirical thing. Think about it that way and everything makes sense. It's a better, better expression of, good times create weak men create hard times create good men create good times. You know what happens on like that step between the hard times to good times? That specific thing? Reconciliation. The thing everybody misses. It's the magic trick. It's the magic coin, but the coin is not magic. It's just hidden behind your flesh when you're doing the magic trick in your hands. And the waviness is the time switching, but the reconciliation is the coin that's been placed behind the hand, and that's your magic. You have to actually see the magic trick to understand what I was saying, but it'll make sense eventually. This steak is so good.
Yeah, mine is super good.
I eat it straight out of your pan, see? Just like that. It's good. I don't need an extra plate. It's a simple way to eat. I like it very much. Little to no cleanup. And besides, you're going to use a pan anyway, so... Yeah. If I have multiple people, plates it is. But if I don't, pan it is.
Solid butter is an interesting strategy here.
How's that?
I've never done that before. I usually put it on top so it melts, you know what I mean?
No, dog, I like it when it's not melted.
I might have to try
like that, so you eat it. Like that. Because it has a special aroma to it when it's not melted. You get the volume of how much butter is on your steak as you're eating it. Just right. And it's perfect. And it's a weird thing. Because you have the warm, almost hot steak with the somewhat cool butter, and it's a very interesting experience in your mouth.
It seems like that would be good because the butter flavor just kind of mixes with the steak fat flavor. So I can imagine having the two distinctly separate would probably be good.
I don't know, man. It's just it's always worked for me. I like it.
I'm a very strange person. A lot of people have very strange preferences and flavors that they love about the world, and they keep eating them. Like Dr. Pepper. Who eats Dr. Pepper? I don't understand why anybody drinks Dr. Pepper. It tastes like medicine, tastes like cough medicine, but everybody wants it.
Like that, see? The Donald Trump speaking is the funniest thing ever. Because it is more so about what he says and how he says it than
The actual concept.
the actual voice. It's the persona. It's you can have a male version of a Katy Perry parody, but if it's just the voice, it can't also be Katy Perry because you're just not going to notice it. It's personality, man. That sounds extremely heretical, and it is, but I'm right. But I mean, hey, why would we be concerned with heretical? We got Benny over here who's making transparent demon rats. See, he gets thumbs up. That's how you know it's fucked up.
Transparent demon rats with human brains, brothers.
Yep. That's why the demon rats. Because what do you think? Like an NYC? What do you think a fat fucking NYC rat is gonna do when it has human brain cells? Boy, we're basically making crackheads. I mean, I'll be honest.
We have to give him a Terminator body. No, he's got to have like a little mech suit.
Yeah. You got Guardians of the Galaxy maxed that shit. Created like the little rocket raccoon, but with all the cybernetic engineering in it to give it super strength. Yeah. See, why would you wait for a door to open when you can open the door? Or better still, why even look for a door? You can make a hole in the wall.
Did not have Terminator rats on my apocalypse bingo card.
All right. The long-term plans of the project have changed, everybody. I'm going to announce it here live. We're building cybernetic mech rats with human brain neural networks.
Yeah, we are so cooked. Everybody's like afraid of the drones in Ukraine. I'm like, have you ever thought about the rats in New York? I don't know, man. There's a lot more rats than those drones, and they're a lot less expensive, and you can control them with a lot less simpler things. And they don't require signal. They just require, need to eat, go there, boom, boom, finish.
We can have a rat army, you know.
Yep. Now, the real problem starts to come up when you have to think about the Geneva Convention and shit, right? Because I think rat suicide bombers, you know, I don't know about that part. I don't know, that sounds very dangerous.
Pigeons with human brain neural networks and devices attached to them.
This is how we replace the Ukrainian drones.
That would definitely work.
I know, that's what I'm saying. And they can definitely recognize shit too, and you can like, teach them things. Because they're smart enough, right?
Oh,
and they probably just want to change some aspects of the vision. Well, like, yeah, that should definitely work. And, you know, I was thinking this entire time, how do you make it? So you need, when you have drone armies, you need to have them to do swarming and to do the bird memorization thing. So what instead of, like, building these things, we just take actual fucking birds and just, like, evolutionarily upscale them and send them attacks.
Wow. You get that
really
gene editor on it.
Yeah, bro, it's like the fucking dude. We gotta get this guy because we already got the Gila monster venom deficiency that everybody believes everybody has. You know, that's what Ozempic is. It's just like Gila monster venom. You know, and like people inject it and be like, oh no, it's totally fine. It's gonna get rid of the fat. It's gonna solve our problems. I'm like, oh really? So is your claim that we've had Gila monster venom deficiency in our blood the whole time? Because that's what it sounds like. So the answer is obviously no. So then, of course, yeah, your whole take is retarded. Do you see the point I'm trying to make?
I thought the birds were already drones.
Oh yeah, exactly. But this time we're gonna make it actually real. We're like hyperstitioning it into reality, where everybody says the birds are not real, and I highly disagree. The birds are very real. They just have real neurons in them too.
I mean, especially now they got this skin cell thing. They're making 10 neurons out of one skin cell. They got to be pumping these things out in a factory somewhere, certainly.
Can we make the birds transparent with Yellow 5?
Oh my god. Dude, we gotta have like those things flying in the sky. We've got transparent bird demons. Fucking
you could
fantastic.
see the wiring in the bird's head. Oh, that'd be so fire.
Well, if you see it, you've already lost it.
Oh my god. It's got like a light in the back, but it's like a really small LED.
It's like one of those old Game Boy Colors. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah.
Oh my god. This is horrible.
You're gonna come arrest me.
If you can't tell, we're actually kind of like, you know, sarcastic about all this, and we're trying to just cope with reality by making it worse than it actually is. And like the comparison of how bad it could be with how bad it actually is makes the is a lot less bad than we initially thought the is could be, because our reference frame is now like much, much worse than it once was, which is baseline reality. Because, you know, we can't think about normals anymore. I have to like think about new normals, because, you know, the lefties hyperstitioned that into the planet. And so now we're like living in an actual state of new normal. But it's like the new normal is going to be like the reconciliation into empires and shit. And we're just sitting here and we're like, okay, cool. by the way, all those things that you believed in before, yeah, man, we're gonna have to delete that. We're going back to like the other thing. I'm like, cool, I'm good with that. This means that my life is going to change significantly, and everybody else's too, right? So that's a thing. It's going to be a struggle. It's going to be hard for many people as well. Like I think there's a lot more chaos that precedes the golden age. Put it that way.
Chaos is a ladder.
Yeah. And they gotta climb that bitch in A pretty, but if we talk about transparent demon rats, we don't have to think about how bad it is.
I mean, the day I discovered that we were enslaving human brain neurons inside of computers, like I immediately realized that things could be so much worse. I was like, I'm happy to be where we are now.
True, exactly. And then all of a sudden you sit there like somewhere
inside a computer.
Well, and you sit there somewhere with your homie, and they're like having a long ass conversation either in person or over the internet, and you're like, you know what? This kind of sucks, but I like the way it sucks. It's like, you ever had that game which you play, and I'm like, I like the way this sucks. It's like that. It's like you're trying to solve this impossible task, but you know it's a task you're always going to have to start solving. So it's like, I kind of like the way it sucks. Yeah.
One must imagine Sisyphus happy.
Oh, God, yeah. Hey, at least it gives us something to talk about. At least we have the internet. As long as we have free speech, then everything's good. If we don't have that, well, that life's over. But the ability to speak and the ability for someone like me to, like, do this, that's how you know things are kind of on the right track still. But, like, when everybody's silenced, that's when the problems begin. You do not want to live in a world like that. Trust me, I've lived under a dictatorship for, like, about 10 years. I do not recommend that shit, and anybody else who says that we need dictatorships is a fucking retard. And I'll say that, and I'll stand by those fucking words, and somebody prints that somewhere and says, oh my god, Adrian Dittman said fucking retard to people who believe in dictatorships. I'm like, yeah, I fucking believe that shit. And I'll say it again right in front of you if you want physical proof. That being said, I'm also not going to go to places that are fucking dictatorships, right? I'm just going to, like, make sure that the dictatorship thing doesn't happen to the place I'm already at, and significantly contributing to, economically. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's my fucking right, that's why. Like, if I have to make business with an actual dictatorship, I'm like, okay, you know, they got, like, the best manufacturing thing for the thing that I need. Understandable. Here's your United States dollars. Give me your machine. And then my problem disappears and I make more economy, so I can print more. Like, I'm going to give you a whole bunch of these, and you're going to give me the thing that makes more of those things that I just gave you. So that's how I rationalize it, in my opinion, right? Because you, like, order something from China, so you're always in United States dollars. They don't, like, use anything else, only the United States dollars. So no matter where you are, you have to fucking pay in United States dollars. Even me.
Or
So, like,
you know, for Bitcoin.
They're not gonna fucking take that shit. Believe me. Why do you think the hash power has been returned to the US? Because China has been extremely anti-crypto. I thought it was very funny when the crypto bros were, like, complaining about how bad, like, the SEC's Gary Gensler was going after crypto. I'm like, dude, that's not even the worst part. At least they don't immediately fuck your entire technology like what they did in fucking China. Like, they really fucked it up. There was a time where most of the Bitcoin hash power resided in fucking China. It was powered by coal mines. That's what, like, drove Elon away from it, right? And so they had all the hash power. And when people wanted to pump Bitcoin, they unironically said, China number one! Like, in a space in the sarcastic China voice. It's like, China number one! They kept saying that shit. It was always so funny because it was true. Because they had all the hash power. Right? And eventually the government said, yeah, no, fuck crypto. And then, like, all the hash power got inverted and it's now back in the US. So, most nerds are not anymore in China. And, you know, you have sometimes Chinese derivatives of stuff where they still do, in fact, work with crypto. They, like, put stuff on the blockchain, blah, blah, whatever else, but they don't, like, do large scale as what they used to do, to the extent that they were actually able to dominate Bitcoin and become Bitcoin. Right, Bitcoin was largely just fucking Chinese by people mining it. It's crazy.
Bitcoin is a Chinese coin.
It was a Chinese coin, yeah.
We need to bring that back. It'd be incredible.
Absolutely don't. Absolutely not, man. I like the volatility at the moment, where it's like the speculative value increases because the China FUD is just going to immediately slash that shit. So it's like definitely something I don't support.
Yeah.
And I want the mining thing to like happen slower, not faster, because it pisses me off. That's why we need like more computer shit that like works this out, so that people are forced to like build more things, so we can have like more innovative cooling technologies on like a hyper scale. So I'm really fine with that because I love it.
This is what we need. We need a blockchain that is anti-classical computing, which requires you to use organoid intelligence.
Yeah, it's gonna happen at some point. What are we gonna call it? We're not gonna call it Bitcoin. We're gonna call it B-Cell. B-Cell. I don't know.
I was just choking on my coffee. Oh my god.
I dropped a banger there, didn't I?
Yeah, that was good.
There's like a lot of clips that we can extract out of this conversation, that's for sure. Damn. I'm actually gonna have some coffee as well, because why not? It's funny that I haven't had any coffee, but I'm like this energetic. That's how you know the conversation is good.
Yeah,
Because have you had that? Yeah, because like, have you ever, had this conversation that's extremely annoying? Like, nobody wants to have that conversation, but they do. And it's like you sit there for hours and hours, you're trying to live through it. And then afterwards, it's like your body is trying to reject it in every way, and it can't figure out a way to do it. So it tries to physically manifest it as some sort of activity where you can pass something out of your body. And so, like, my coping mechanism with having a really shitty conversation is that afterwards, I get a massive headache and have to take a massive fucking shit. For some reason, every single time I have, like, a really bad conversation, I have to take a massive fucking shit afterwards. I said that once, like, sarcastically in front of people. They're like, no, you're gonna let on, you don't like him. I'm like, oh yeah, sorry. I said, like, dude, have you ever had a conversation that was so bad that you felt like you had to take a shit, and it's like at the end of the day you took like the biggest fucking shit in your life? And I said that in front of everybody, and they're like, so who's the enemy? Everybody's like trying to figure out who the enemy is.
You gotta keep your fucking mind security high. Having conversations with some of these people is truly painful.
Literally, because if you look at the what is, I think, largely still a hypothetical, which is the existence of mirror neurons. I mean, by the logic of mirror neurons, retardation is literally contagious.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Like, if mirror neurons are real, then retardation is contagious. If you spend, like, a long, long time with what is someone who is basically a functional retard, then you too shall become a functional retard, because you will mirror that exact person. If you, like, exist inside... It's very interesting, because if you exist inside of a room with, like, a very abstract type of... with very abstract groups of personalities, you actually start to see how your world changes a little bit. If you're still aware of it. The same thing, like, I go to... New Zealand for 2 weeks, I'm like hanging out there with a few people, and then I come back, and all of a sudden, like, my brain is giga upgraded, because for the first time, I was like spending a lot of time around like a bunch of nerds that were like smarter than me. I'm like, this is good. And so immediately your intelligence is elevated. So if you spend a lot of time around people who don't necessarily have the highest cognitive function, your cognitive function is going to equate to that, so it's literally going to decline. So retardation is in fact contagious.
I just started reading about this. Yeah, it's very interesting. It says in humans, mirror neurons are primarily here we go. When you watch someone pick up a cup, your neurons essentially fire as if you were doing it yourself, essentially mirroring the action in your brain. So, like, quite literally, you talk to people that are smarter than you, it's going to activate new pathways in your brain. Talk to people that are dumber than you, it's going to reinforce the retardation into your brain.
Boom. Exactly. It's kind of funny that I bring up new mirror neurons to you, but you're the guy who's like fucking with neurons on chips. I think it's kind of funny.
I'm turning myself into a stupid, smaller version of my own brain.
This is legitimately what's like happening. This is legitimately what's like happening. That's why everybody in crypto like sounds the exact same. Because if you spend much time around like these exact spaces, your brain is just going to get literally cooked. There's no way to escape that. If you like listen to the pyramid scheme basis by which people shill stuff, and you like sit there for hours and you're intaking this dog shit information, literal dog shit information, then of course you yourself shall become exactly like those people. But the problem is you're going to get zero gains of like the psychological manipulation because you're just the victim of it. This is why like in the left, for instance, you have those like weird sycophant echo chambers. They all keep like echoing these exact stupid thoughts because they don't have like anything abstract to measure themselves against. They only like have each other. That's why those types of echo chambers are extremely problematic.
I mean, it's rampant in crypto, especially. Like 95% of the spaces are literally all talking about the same brain dead shit. They're like, "Oh, who's got the alpha?" It's like I want to.
Not even that. They like talk about some weird random shit of how they like hung out at some weird ass nightclub and how they had this specific type of food, and then like after they had that conversation, they instantly start talking about the tech shit again, and then like the tech shit is just like explaining how your hypothetical upscale of whatever this fucking piece of dog shit smart contract is that some GPT propped it up for you. It's like, this thing is super special. It's not. This thing that I just said is the exact conversation that every single person, every single crypto space has on repeat every single day, and it averages out at about 4-hour intervals, where it's like you start with this to bridge the social connection, then they continue with try to do the finance bullshit connection, and then they start to do the shill thing, then they end stuff, start the cycle again. That's how it goes every single fucking time. It's crazy, man. I just like mapped out all the crypto spaces. You're welcome. So now you have the natural resistance. I want you to like keep that template in your mind. Weird food nightclub, visit people talk, followed by weird blockchain stuff that doesn't exist, followed by the shill of the thing. Boom.
That's
finished.
literally, I can't even tell you how accurate that is. Like, I'm sure you've realized I've been in a ton of crypto spaces. Like, literally 80% of them are that. It's like talk about going to Nobu, then talk about like the nightclub with 5 of the other crypto bros.
You forgot the Lambo. You forgot the Lambo.
Yeah, like
No, there is no Lambo because they're all broke.
yeah.
No, there is no Lambo, but they talk about the Lambo.
There is no
That's irrelevant. That's like the moment where you realize, okay, the moment where somebody says generational wealth, you're already exit liquidity. Like, you're already cooked before we start. You're early, it's over. If somebody says you're early, it's over. It's like so fucking over. There's no back from that. Oh, we're gonna run it back. Nah, man, it's gonna go down even worse. That's crypto lingo for you. Send it higher means it's gonna go to shit. We are so back means it's gonna go to shit again. We are still early. That means you're already late, and everybody else is just waiting to liquidate their last bags. What else? What else?
Sellers of
There's much on those.
tokens, they're about to
Wag
flip
me?
the bundle.
Yeah, well, Wagner, yeah. That one's not even the most noticeable one. That one's just like, something's fishy. But when somebody says generational wealth, I'm like, oh yeah, that guy's gonna insta-run. Like that, the guy who says generational wealth is just gonna instantly pull the fucking liquidity out of the pool. He's just doesn't give a fuck. He's not even gonna rug because he's got the KOL group who has all the supply and just dumps it. Nah, bro, he's just gonna rip the fucking tokens. Like, he's just gonna rip the fucking liquidity out and just send it to shit. The generational wealth guy talks about generational wealth because he's gonna get it because it's all of your guys' wealth. And so what I'm saying, I mapped this shit out for like years. It's like back in 2023, I was actually there absorbing all the bullshit, and at some point I did my own reconciliation, and I'm like, what the fuck am I actually listening to? You know? And so I like seeing these recursive patterns of bullshit and nothing ever getting done, so I stepped out of it, went into the Tesla community stuff, did something actually productive, went out of that because all they were doing, talk about the fucking stock, and I'm just like sitting there doing another reconciliation. I'm like, why do I even give a fuck about any of this shit?
Yeah, at some point the fucking Tesla committee just began talking about the stock non-stop.
And now they try talking about like how to use their products better. It's like, fuck. Now, they can't even do spaces like that as much anymore because now it's just basically the community trying to like build up personality stuff. It's like, oh hey, you have a Tesla too. Come meet our friends. And that's nice. That's a really good thing, by the way, right? Because I think that's the most sustainable iteration of a Tesla community. Once you start talking about the stock, it's not fun anymore. Right? But if you say, oh, hey, I have a Tesla too. We bros now. That's fun. Right, that works. That's scalability in that. Should maximize that. Oh, and then you have like things that build up, and you have like a Ross Gerber, and you know, like you have people that try to beef with Ross Gerber because he doesn't actually own anything. Like some random fucking tech magazine says he's top Tesla investor, but it's not even his fucking stocks. Like, bruh, you know. So you have like I've beefed with or you beef with Gary Black who says that Tesla advertisements were going to send everything higher, which they never did. Understandable, by the way. You know, I don't have a problem with it whatsoever. I think he's a pretty solid dude. Overall, aside from like some takes, but then you have like, you know, other people who want their stock to go to zero. You have like the guys who do what was the other guy? Gordon Johnson, you know, who says he has a bunch of AI experts who know nothing about AI. And can't tell you who the experts are because they don't exist.
You know, I've never understood like the mindset of like wanting a company to fail. Right? Like even if I hate the company, I don't want it to fucking fail.
Nah, bro. There's always logic behind that. You just gotta make sense of it in your own head somehow. The only problem is, if you have empathy, then you start to realize people are gonna lose their jobs. A lot of people are gonna lose their money.
That's what I mean.
So it's like, you don't like the company, but there's people involved in this.
Exactly.
You know, they don't have a problem. It's not their fault that it's Enron, you know?
Exactly. No, I'm not talking about like outright fraud. Right? I'm not talking about situations where it's outright fraud. I'm talking about like a normal company failing. You know?
Yeah. By the way, Suraj, you want to say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to make a note on Tesla Sentry mode, so they can actually capture, the faces of these culprits who are trying to attack these cars.
See, that's a good thing to have a space around about, right? You have somebody say, hey man, dude, I just caught a fucking dude rubbing his ass on my Tesla car. That actually happened, by the way.
Yeah.
I just caught it on the Sentry cam. Can somebody, internet, identify this ass? You know? That's fucking fun. That's what the Tesla community should maximize. You know?
That is pretty fun, yeah.
That's my personal opinion, right? We don't need to talk about stocks. We don't need to talk about anything. We need to talk about the product. We need to talk about the people. You gotta feel welcome because that's what makes the product even better. Beyond the fact that the product's just fucking amazing, right? You also gotta show that the types of people who buy it are amazing also. Otherwise, you're just gonna end up with a fucking Dodge Ram crew that like tries to modify stuff, and you have like the lift kit faction that's like completely fucking insufferable, and then like there's a very small percentage of the lift kit guys who's actually nice, but the rest of them are like really weird people who like have some sort of strange infatuation with their fucking car and spend more money on it than they do their family. Right?
Yeah,
These are things. These are things we have to remember.
Right? Like it will actually notify you in the mobile app, and then you can also store all the footage in your hard disk or something.
Yes. Yeah. We're a Tesla myself. I just use it because I do a lot of off-road, and I'm not putting that car through whatever that road is. Besides, like, though maintenance is lower, the maintenance cost for the stuff that would break, given that I expose it to these conditions we have here, would be higher than if I would just take a fucking Toyota like Hilux or something like that and drive that around. If their part breaks, I know guys who can get me the replacement in 20 minutes, right? And I don't have to like wait, and it actually technically costs less. Whereas if I actually had the truck, that whole thing would change totally. But I don't have that. I don't have the truck yet. I'm still waiting for the delivery. I want the Cybertruck. I want the bulletproof fucking rectangle thing. Not rectangles, like a weird fucking thing made out of triangles. I want it. Okay? I want this thing. I want the fucking polygon. I want to drive around like I do in video games where I put the resolution down to nothing because I want the frame rate. And I want to drive around like a polygon. I want to drive around like a polygon. I want a polygon max, okay? I want this fucking thing. I want bulletproof polygon. Right, so I'm waiting for that.
That'll be nice.
So as soon as I get the bulletproof polygon, I'm going to tell everybody about my bulletproof polygon. That's what's going to happen. Right? So I'm still waiting for like, you know, the production to up on the Cybertruck so I can get my bulletproof polygon. I want my bulletproof polygon. Keep repeating it. Milady affirmations.
They're gonna hate to see me when I get that thing. Like, I'm gonna be crypto broed out in that Cybertruck. I'm literally gonna make a meme out of it. I'm gonna have like a Bitcoin sticker on the back. Like, I'm gonna make it as cringe as possible. It's gonna be amazing.
Oh my god, dude! Put the fucking anime group sticker on that shit.
I'll put my
That's
milady
deep
on it.
lore.
Just for the tweet, I'll put my milady on it.
Yeah, dude. Why not? Yeah, put the if it says like if it's a founder edition or something like that, just there where it normally would be at. Just put the little milady eyes, you know. You put the Higimori condition thing on like the door or something, and you put the little milady eyes on the back.
That's so good.
That would be so good, wouldn't it?
Yeah, people.
One of my friends that I met, he had like a shirt on where it's like it's an Inception thing where you can see the shirt and it says the artist's name. So you're like, oh yeah, you know the artist as well.
You know,
But if you like pass him and you look back, he has the little milady eyes on the back of his shirt.
You know, I saw
pretty cool.
like a Tesla today with like 15 stickers on it. Of like just like shit to basically say, oh yeah, don't fucking hurt me. You know, I bought this before. You know, Elon.
I bought this before that was bad. Yeah, those are weird ones. Yeah, there's a bunch of those. People are legitimately insane quite a lot of the time, and that is one of those manifestations where it's like, you know, don't beat this thing up. Whereas the guy with the fucking Prius, you know, who's got like a family of 5, has like a sticker that's on the back of his car and it says, you know, it has like the stick figure thing about the other stick figure beating the one that's below, and it's like, don't touch my car. Like that's the fucking Prius owner has that as a sticker on the back of his car, right? Whereas like the Tesla owner who drives around the bulletproof Polygon is trying to like virtue signal to people that don't exist, that are not real, or the terrorists, that he doesn't want to get damaged. I'm like, you are driving this. These are NPCs. You think you can reason with them? You're like already lost. Or if you're rage baiting, then it's working because I'm talking about it. But damn, you know.
My favorite.
I just pinned a post for the Tesla maintenance cost. This is from Consumer Reports, by the way.
Nice.
It's the lowest ever.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's just I live kind of in a remote area, so my expenses are a little different. I work out with conditions the likes of which I want to deal with.
You also have to understand that there's cars out there who are like not legal in the US, from like Toyota.
Yep.
And they're like cheap as fuck, but it's just the US doesn't allow it.
Because it would kill the entire car market. Like, you can't even import these cars as a personal thing.
Exactly.
I don't want to explain to you how exactly people try to get around it. It's not going to happen.
So does that mean this is not exactly a free market?
Yes.
No market is a free market.
Singapore is about as close as you're going to get.
Again, you can get very close to free market, but it's like freedom of speech. We're free enough to talk about certain things until we're not. Right? And then we have to, like, you know, take certain courses of action or, like, you know, go a specific way to, like, get the rights back. But, you know, then there's time and reconciliation and the fucking weird phases and shit, right? It happens, basically. That's all I'm going to say.
Everything's all good until we start talking about the human brain neural network pigeons with devices.
Nah, nobody cares about those things yet. Nobody cares. We can talk about this as much as we want until later, you know, like, you know, 10 or 5 to 10 years afterwards, until these things, like, legitimately become a concern for, like, you know, suicide drones. Then, you know, people are going to look at our posts from, like, you know, 5 years ago and be like, holy shit, these guys are already on this? They already know? What the fuck? We gotta hire them! You know?
Adrian, let's collab on like a Medium article about this, like the future of like human brain neural network drones.
This is actually not so bad. Yeah, I'm actually down for that. We should like schedule a call and, you know, start working some shit out.
Yeah, I think that would be sick.
Because I got infinite funny ideas or like hypotheticals. We can like an article about future hypotheticals for the weaponization of biology. Everybody thinks bioweapon is virus. I'm like, what about rats? Have you seen what an NYC rat can grow to? I am still thinking about the weird semi-spherical cylindrical thing that's running through the little gas station shop. I'm thinking about the New York rats. I can't get it off my mind. And look, the way it's going to end is that my mind's going to be in that thing, so it can't get me off of it either.
Can you imagine the possibility?
God, that sounds fucked up.
It can crawl through like any of the tiniest little crevices, like that. It's just terrible. I don't even want to think about this.
Dude, it's basically like the thing that they did in Stranger Things where the Gravemind was like infecting all the rats and that made him run towards the warehouse and explode, so they turned it into a big flesh monster thing.
Literally exactly that. What if they could organize and make like a giant...
Dude, what about Human Centipede, but it's like rats?
Yep. Oh god.
Yes. Bro, we're gonna like, that's like a rat centipede, bro. That's fucking crazy.
Is there like
Benny, you can post your articles on X, by the way.
We're gonna do both.
Yeah, that's the plan. We're gonna post them on X and then probably like Medium. We'll post them everywhere. They're gonna be.
Yeah, we'll post that everywhere. We gotta have like the proof of work. So like it's in the block. We need it to be in the block, and then the 2025 block. And then when somebody looks at the 2025 block, but they're in 2030, they're gonna look at it and be like, "Are these what? How did these guys know?"
Yeah, wait. We have to do like a little like archive. Like a
Exactly. Like, hey, we already knew about this. Here you go. Here's the stuff we can build. Like, okay, we have concerns about biological engineering of animals in the battlefield. Oh boy, here's an article from 5 years ago. Here, go read that. Here's everything you need to know.
I actually want to do this. I was thinking of using Arweave or something, because when the kids of the next generation and generation after that grow up with a deleted history of the world, I want them to be able to look back at like and just basically be like future schizo posters, right? Like they look back and they find all of our shit in like these algorithmic or not algorithmic, these cryptographically locked archives, right? It's like the secret library of Alexandria.
Yeah, dude. Depending on how much imagery we're gonna have in the thing, we're basically gonna kind of put a paper together almost. We're gonna have like article, but I think we can also do paper thing. Do you know anybody who like can actually submit a paper anywhere?
I do actually. Yeah.
We know a few people. Yeah, we've had to find them because of
Does that stuff.
Yeah, academia doesn't like me very much, but I suppose with this it would be a nice hypothetical study thing. So yeah, I would.
Are you gonna try to get it like people to fucking review it, whatever that's fucking called?
kind of, but the thing is like it's so bad right now in academia that like you're potentially you have to psyop people. So you have to feed them slowly, right? So they don't know what they're actually citing.
Yep.
And then you like lead on with that.
Yeah, we should definitely like do a little thing. I'll call you guys.
Yeah, I love that. Adrian, you
We'll
saw
have
the
a
collab
conversation.
we got, right?
We'll let you know when we have
Yeah,
the
that's
actual
great.
when we have the actual scholars set up, Adrian. Just so that's all ready.
We can like probably do the article thing first and do the paper thing last. But we could also put those two things together and do like a part two.
What's the
Yeah,
thing where a bunch of fucking peer review? Yeah, are you gonna have a peer review?
I mean, if
Do you think we can get the smells chick to like review our thing and turn us into doctors?
I mean, that's the one of the plans for us. So, like, if we can get a paper through, I'd imagine getting a second paper through would be like rather easy because we sort of have the framework built out. But I know a couple of people that have like basically documents that outline like how you need to structure the paper and write the paper so that it's like prepared for peer review because they only approve things that are basically written with a certain framework. Otherwise, just right off the bat, they tell
Yeah.
you.
Sure. Right, good. We're gonna figure this out eventually.
I actually know quite a few people who have like research papers published.
Aldo, we're gonna tap you then.
I would prefer not to.
I would tap out it.
Fuck off.
All right, I
See,
didn't.
there you go. The problem is never mention utility you're never gonna give.
Right.
It's a bad practice. It's shitty aura. Shitty aura. If you're not gonna give anyone anything, don't mention it. It's like the little rich kid that like cites that they have money and they say, I have these big vans, I'm gonna give them away. I could give them away somewhere, but like, hey, I have a lot of college debt, can you help me out? Nah. Okay, then why?
Oh yeah, that guy surrounds himself with false friends.
Stuff like that. So it's like you want to become the academia of like people.
The academia of people meaning you're like a library.
Because you have to like, you have like your library is that you have a lot of cash, and everybody's like trying to social engineer getting the cash out of you.
Right.
Yeah, he gets it.
What field are you exactly going to publish it in? That's the question.
That's difficult. The thing that's difficult, I find, is that academia is so behind in that it only researches certain things, right? It only takes interest in certain fields or topics within like.
There's
you know what I mean?
There's like fields of mathematics that if you write about, no one's going to review your paper, so you don't have any peer-reviewed papers.
Yes,
in those fields of mathematics.
Right, and then there's intra-field studies that I feel like fields are. Would you say that there are not emergent fields? That's stupid, but like
There's
interdisciplinary stuff.
Yeah.
Just like
Yeah.
nobody is an expert in, so they can't even verify the stuff that you're saying.
Yes.
basically.
Yes, exactly.
Exactly.
So like, do we publish a fucking paper on the noosphere? Like, that's not gonna get fucking published. You know what I mean? That's the difficulty.
Well,
I
you
find.
can get a paper published, but it's just about are you going to have it peer reviewed or not?
Yes, that's what.
Right.
Yeah.
And it also depends on the field of academia you're in because they have different journals, right?
Like, out of some of the coolest stuff I found is on SSRN, but it's not cited. It's not like, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's there, but it's not cited. The Simulacrum as Money is a great paper, by the way, if anyone wants to read that.
Well, yeah, it really depends on what field you want to publish it in, because some like fucking some parts of academia they're a lot more strict on what they allow on, and then others are a bit more lax.
Yeah, right. You're talking about in publications.
Yes.
Yeah.
We might be able to do
I probably can't introduce you guys, but I can probably ask questions about what we can do.
That helps, to be honest. You know, every eye on this, not every input, but anyone with somewhat of a background in academia, even unofficially, helps.
Without revealing too much, I was a high-level editor on an academic journal.
Who was that? Benny, can you just take names down?
Lawyer Cat.
Lawyer Cat. Yeah. That guy's based.
Basically, the entire crew has like something to offer, and I think the few of us here are quite academic in nature. I can just come up with the craziest fucking shit because I can connect things and teach you which things are like the best memes to like put out.
Yeah, because memeing it is also unironically going to be pretty important.
Well,
Yep.
is for the study.
That was the guy that calculated the aerodynamics of anime titties. So you guys should probably be able to publish something.
It was a little bit of a different time back then. I'm not sure if that will still work today.
I think this is what we should do. We should do an image recognition study with the organoids, right? To have a dynamic image recognition for video feed, basically. And then we'll integrate it with the implications of how this could be used as a horrific bioweapon with, like, pigeons.
No.
Successful applications, yeah. Probably the type of pigeon we're going to get at the end of this is the one that either has cameras directly integrated into the eye sockets or just has like totally different looking eyes. Where it's like the bulging eye Chihuahua crackhead thing.
Have you guys ever published like a paper before? Or?
No, not we have a paper that we wrote, but not for peer review yet. We've been in the lab for 3 weeks now, so we're not really at the place. We're still like collecting data and sort of tackling a niche which we want to do for our first study. Right now, the dev is working on a virtual environment, which we're going to have the organoid in on like a live feed on our website. So you'll be able to go there and like actually watch the thing learning in real time in the virtual environment 24 hours a day.
Right. Because you also need to like format it in a certain way, right? Otherwise, they're not going to fucking accept your.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I've written academic papers before that technically would have been ready for publication, but it was at the call. They were. I don't think any of them were published officially. But yeah, I have to brush up on that. But yeah, there's a certain way that you have to do it. It has to be formatted. It has to be cited. It has to be this, that.
It kind of depends on which field you're doing, though, because like economics,
psychology and philosophy was where I was writing papers.
Right. Well, which one are you going to do now? Because, like, for example, like the economics one I know has, like, higher standards than even, the economics one has way higher standards because they want it to be replicatable. So even
Well, you know who I could probably get to help us with this is Baron Woodsley, who's published papers in what was it? Epigenetics and genetics, and I forget his background. Let me look it up again. He's kind of, you know, Emil Kierkegaard or Kierkegaard.
I don't know anyone.
Okay. I mean, like, not that you should know him. He's kind of a besmirched name in the fields of, or the what is it, dark what was it, guys, the dark something,
Dark Enlightenment.
thank you, Dark Enlightenment. Yeah, right. There's a couple guys who are kind of a part of that. They're not all exactly friendly with each other, but Emil was sort of an early name in that ring or whatever.
You know who my favorite researcher of all time is? Piotr Wozniak. Right. So this guy got like a PhD. This guy got a PhD. He basically invented the entire field of memory research, right? And then he basically said the modern day
at least try to help the next generation. That's the only thing I can say.
Some of these guys don't give a damn about the next generation. They don't care about their generation. They don't care about anybody making less money than themselves. When asked what happens to 9 million Black American families when these tariffs hit officially, they don't give a fuck about them.
That 9 million will double.
You see what I'm saying?
Matter of fact, I'll say triple.
They don't care about them. They say that these people are crybabies.
Yeah, they taking this Darwinist type of stance, this whole survival of the fittest type of stance. And what's funny is I find some of these people may not even be doing more successful than some of the people who see that this is a problem and that this is not sustainable. And they assume that it's like some sort of thing like the people who are advocating for it to be